सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। श्लोक नंबर 7। अमानित्वमदम्भित्वम्
अमानित्वम् अदम्भित्वम्
अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम्
अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम्
आचार्योपासनं शौचम्
आचार्योपासनं शौचम्
धैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः
स्थैर्यमात्मविनिग्रहः
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
अहङ्कार एव च।
अनहङ्कार एव च।
जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्
आसक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः
असक्तिरनभिष्वङ्गः
पुत्रदारगृहादिषु
पुत्रदारगृहादिषु
नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम्
नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम्
इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु
मयि चानन्ययोगेन
मयि चानन्ययोगेन
भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी
भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम्
अरतिर्जनसंसदि
हरतिर्जनसंसदि
अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम्
अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम्
तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम्
तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम्
एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम्
एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम्
अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा।
अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा।
So, Bhagavan Sri Krishna in this chapter answers Arjuna's question, begins with Kshetrajnam and Kshetra, briefly mentions what those are, And then he is now getting into the topic of jnanam. And here he makes an interesting departure from the usual definition of jnanam. And he's enumerating values. You can call them values for life, values for anybody. And some of these values are unique to our Vedic culture, like Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasanam may not be applicable in other cultures, other places. In a secular world, Acharya Upasanam won't fly. But for us, it's very important. So we saw all that. And so, just like a healthy physical body is important, and they ask you to check your blood sugar and cholesterol and blood pressure periodically, they have these annual checkups. Now, we have these annual checkups. And actually, the tests have become much more inexpensive these days. For 1,000 rupees, you can get a whole bunch of tests done. So it's not it's definitely affordable. And then they'll tell you all these things and then say, oh, you're doing good. Okay? Or you have to cut down salt or whatever. Doctors will tell you all that. So the same thing applied to the mind. Unfortunately, we don't have like a thermometer, we don't have a mind meter, which you could just put inside and then put it like this and then say, what are your problems? What are all your emotional problems, right? Emotional problem meter doesn't exist. And so we have to talk about values. Values become our go-to to maintain a healthy emotional self, right? And so that's the idea here. And a healthy mind is needed so that we can have a healthy intellect. Because Vedanta is all about Atma Vichara. Vichara means inquiry. And a sick mind will not allow me to inquire on anything. Okay. A sick mind, a weak mind will hijack my intellect because my mind is constantly, it'll take me away. It'll just take me away to things that constantly bother me. Because these bothering things are always there. Source of botheration is never going to go away. It'll always be there. And so I need to have the capacity to say, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to keep all of those aside. I'll come back to it later. I need to focus on something else. That to be able to say that we need, according to Krishna, we need all these values. We need to enjoy these values, develop these values in us. Okay. And we saw all these things: amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantihi, kantihi. Another example comes to mind: accommodation. Patient goes to the doctor and goes to the dentist, let's say, dentist. And the dentist won't be worried about the alcoholism problem of the patient. Not concerned. Only teeth. What is the problem with the teeth? That's all. You can't go and keep talking there to the dentist. Another reason you can't keep talking is because your mouth is either closed or open, constantly open like this. So you can't keep doing this. He will say, shut your mouth. Just talk later. Okay. Just keep your mouth open. That's it. Everybody's peering inside that mouth. So you can't talk there. And so the dentist is unconcerned about all the other problems that we have, focusing only on the teeth. And likewise, the alcoholic went to the liver specialist, because liver gets affected. And the alcoholics, the doctor, the liver specialist is called, I think, hepatologist, if I remember right, or gastroenterologist, whatever, these doctors. They're not worried about all your family problems. You can't go there and say, this is not working, that is not working, children are not this, and the college. You don't, he's not concerned about all those things. Just tell me what's your problem. I'm having problem, I'm having stomach ache, this, that. Okay, so this guy is only going to focus. unconcerned. Nor if the alcoholic insults the doctor, you don't care about me at all. The doctor won't be offended by it because the doctor knows, okay, this guy is confused. And so okay, I'll take care of all that. Don't worry, and let's focus on just the problem at hand. And so the doctor will have a lot of shanti, right? Because the doctor understands exactly where the person is coming. Shanti, not affected. It's hard to insult a doctor. If a doctor gets insulted by a patient, we have to look into it, right? It'll be interesting. And so, Shantihi, Arjavam, Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasanam, so important for us. And also another reason that I didn't mention in the last class is there can be a trust deficit, correct? Trust deficit. Yesterday, our Prime Minister Modi talks about trust deficit, okay? Which means among countries and all, people, arms race, people don't trust each other. So India has the capacity to bring the countries together. So in our life also, trust deficit can be there. And if that is the case, then an acharya can make a very big difference in their life. You know why? Because it takes only one person in this whole universe, only one person that you can trust completely. Correct? Completely. Just because trust just makes magic happen in our life. Magic happens if there is trust. That's why families also marriage. The primary purpose of marriage is to be a partner with somebody whom you can trust 100%. That's all. Just one person is needed. That's all. Whole world can say anything they want about me, but one person says I'm good. Enough. Life is made. Can you believe this? Life is made. That's why when things don't work out in a family, that's a problem. It becomes a serious concern. That problem in a marriage just eclipses everything else because that one person also is not working. And so that's the beauty of marriage also. That's an importance of marriage. Important. Marriage becomes an important ashrama in our life. Okay, all that we've seen. Shaucham. That is the next second line. Acharya Upasanam Shaucham. Shuchihi means cleanliness. Cleanliness. Two kinds of cleanliness. Bahya Shaucham. Bahya Shaucham means just external cleanliness, keeping the body clean, keeping the surroundings clean is external Bahya Shaucham, which is important because just a basic sense of tidiness is important. But if the external things are not clean, hygienic, then it's difficult to focus on even more subtle things. So the minimum I can do is keep my environment clean, keep my room clean, and keep my body clean. Okay, basic shaucham is required. Bahya shaucham. So clean means hygienic. Things are not organized. Unorganized need not mean unclean, correct? Unorganized need not mean unclean. So we have to, because sometimes if you come to my place, it will look unorganized, disorganized, because books are stacked from bottom to top, and it's all over the place sometimes. So we need not confuse that to be unclean or unhygienic. Okay. So all that is important for us, and so that external cleanliness, Bhakya Socham, reinforces our Antara Socham, the need for the internal orderliness. And so that when I sit for meditation, like we did half an hour ago, I don't have to worry about cockroaches and this and that coming, because if there's a problem with insects and this and that, then you can't meditate. You can't concentrate because you're constantly worried. Something is moving. Oh my God. Something is moving. Something is scratching. So these things, these worries should not be there. And so, therefore, that area, puja room and all for our, in our, keep it clean so that we are, you know, at least some places are quite clean for us to do our prarthana, study, things like that. Is Bahya Soch. Then Antara Shaucham. Opposite of Bahya Socham is what? Antara Shaucham. Antara Shaucham means cleanliness of the this part of the body, mind. In fact, the entire list of values from Amanitmama onwards is all meant for that Antara Shaucham. Anything that we use is going to get dirty. Anything, doesn't matter what it is, whether it is even you lock and key, you close the house for 2 days and come back, then you find something is not right. Some the magic. I don't know. This is just happens. I think that's the kala. That is a play of kala, and things happen. There is some fine dust somewhere. There are cobwebs. This that everything happens within just 2 days, and so uh, anything that gets is used gets dirty. Of course, clothes will get dirty. Anything, all objects in the house they get dirty, etc., etc. So just like that, the mind also, which is constantly being used, is subject to getting dirty, quote unquote, right? Subject to getting dirty, and therefore that's constant. And so we have to make a special effort to keep the mind clean. Okay. And the special efforts is what? That is why prarthana every day is important. Simple. These are all simple things, but important things. Prarthana. Any type of prarthana, a prayer in any language to any devata is so critical, so important. It keeps the mind sane because things are not going to go the way we want things to go. And so, better start practicing that while things are going well. Correct? When things are going well, I better start practicing. I'm doing a prarthana, doing a puja with family members. If family is not there, if the situation is not conducive, okay, at least I can spend some time chanting shlokas and doing a small puja. And so, Gayatri Japa is there, Smartha Gayatri is there. Yo Devas Savita Smakam, Dio Dharmadi Gocharaha, Prerayet Tasya Yad Bhargaha, Tad Varenyam Upasmahe. Right? We learned that, Smartha Gayatri. Or Shruti Shrauta Gayatri, Om Bhuvaswaha. So like this, we have any type of prayer is useful to gain that Shuddhi Antara Shaucham. And then Swamiji talks about suppose I hate somebody. Hatred. See, this hatred is a very negative emotion, correct? It's that you see somebody and then you feel there's something happening inside. It can happen to people. And just I hate the looks of the person. Something about the person I hate. They must have done something. Whatever. So this hatred, things, these strong negative emotions like this, we, we have to neutralize somehow or the other. And that is, when you say somebody, I hate a person, what is it you hate about that person? What is this you hate about? Yeah. Is it the looks? What exactly? No, it's just he said something sometime. Oh, okay. So looks you don't hate. Looks are okay. Long ago he said something. Now also he's saying the same thing. No, now he doesn't say like that. Oh, I see. So something about the past you keep in mind and then you hate it. So like that, if we analyze, we'll find that we will keep reducing. The actual thing that is causing me concern is something much smaller, but I have projected it on the entire person. Entire person is my target, but then I realized that no, I need not do that, and it's there's just a small little thing that has created that negative emotion in me, And then, even if that behavior is there now, one particular behavior, the way they talk or whatever, still keep the behavior separate from the person and say, why should I hate the person because the person has this behavior? Suppose I ask that question. Hey, the person also has a life to lead, and he or she also has all kinds of problems, and they have to. They are also working hard. Why should I hate the person for one particular behavior? Like this, these kinds of questions are asked, and therefore, Pratipaksha Bhavana. This is called Pratipaksha Bhavana. A bhavana, an attitude where I purposely invoke values that are desired opposite of that. Look at the person. The person is helping others in such a big way. Oh, that's a very good trait to have. I wish I could do something like that. The person is able to sing very well. Oh, that's very nice. How many people can sing that well? So like that, you develop a liking based on the likable aspects of the person. Okay, and then approach the person with that attitude. Then I will find that the person is not really like that, and I this negative emotion will slowly go neutralizing. Pratipaksha bhavana. Pratipaksha means a bhavana which creates, which invokes in me an attitude that is opposite of what I originally had. That is called pratipaksha bhavana. Okay, so these are some techniques for us to just clean up ourselves. Okay, because these things are useless. These things are a barrier for us in the study of Vedanta. Even in normal life, it's not useful. Definitely for the study of Vedanta, it's not useful at all. Okay? And so now we have to be careful. Whenever we say things like this, we have to be careful that abusive people are there and we have to deal with them separately. We might have to seek help, etc. And so we are not saying embrace everybody. It's not possible to embrace everybody, and sometimes situations are going to be dangerous. And so we have to identify situations that are dangerous. And here is a guy that's abusing me and my children, and so we have to stay away. Correct. So that has to be done. So we have to be careful how, when, and how to implement all these things. That we understand. Okay. So that is called shaucham, bahya shaucham, antara shaucham, and then thairyam, thairyam, thirata. I've told this before. The stha dhatu in Sanskrit is very much there in English language. Steady, stable, state, steadfast. All these words have the letter sta in that. Sta comes from the Sanskrit root stha dhatu. And so here also stairyam, the ability to some staying power, ability to be unfazed by things that happen in my life, and so perseverance, a commitment to whatever pursuit I have in front of me. That is called stairyam. And so whenever there is something unfavorable outcome, I am not going to judge the situation, or I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to judge people for what happened. This is the way it has happened. Now, what should I do next? Stairyam. I can decide. I can change my course of action, and but I will not sit in judgment of people and myself also. And so that's important. So this prarabhyate, I quoted this before, prarabhyate nakalu vigna bhayena nichaihi. So there are people who are afraid of situations, afraid of this unfavorable outcomes, fear of failure, and therefore they don't do anything. They don't take important steps in life. Okay, important steps. Even sometimes people won't go to the doctor, won't see the doctor. You know why? They're afraid the doctor will say, I have this, I have that. So that fear is there. And At least if they say, no, I'm afraid, they'll just poke my arm, that fear, physical fear. But this fear of seeing a doctor, that's not a good thing. And prarabhya vigna vihitaha viramanti madhyaha. And then there are people who start everything with a lot of gusto and then keep going until the first thing happens. And then economy is down. Okay, so chodo do. And we'll stop because we can't do anything about it. So, madhye, they give up things in the middle. And then there are few who punah punah vignamanaha, vignaihi pratihanyamanaha. Okay. Despite being affected, despite encountering so many barriers, so many obstacles, they keep going. Prarabdham uttama gunaha, uttama janaha na parityajanti. Like that, there is a nice mantra. Bhartrihari. So, thairyam, very important. And so, our people like the story of Ganga, they say this Bhagirath, finally, that Bhagirath was the one who brought Ganga to earth. That's a beautiful story. And so it's called, and the way they struggled for generations, two generations at least, and from Sagar onwards. And so the word prayatna means effort. Bhagirata prayatna means it's just unsurmountable effort this person has put, like that. They say all odds are stacked against this person. Correct? That's why they say. And then still, person was able to overcome. So whether they overcome or not is different. The fact that the person was unfazed. Yeah, this is how it is. Situations are like that. The right time has not come for me. What to do? But this is what I have to do at this time. So keep at it. So stairyam, and something comes to my mind. It is not necessarily stairyam, but it came to my mind. Therefore, I'll tell you this. When we were kids, we were in some. I was in ninth or 10th grade or something like that, and my brother also. And we used to make a lot of mischief. And so we Deepavali time. I may have told this to you, but if not, Deepavali time, and we used to be on the street all day, bursting crackers, this that, etc. And then we got this great idea because we are learning, we are going to school, we are all intelligent people and learning a lot of new things. And so we used to be good at this electrical stuff, electrical gadgets and removing, putting together and all. And so my brother and I decided we are going to burst a bomb, a small little, the cracker. And then, except we're not going to use any agarbatti or we're not going to use the matchstick and all that to light that thing. We're going to do a short circuit. And from the short circuit, some flame will come, sparks will come. We're going to use that spark to, to burst this crack. This is a bright idea we had. And guess what? We are sitting in the first floor. From the first floor, we pulled the wires and all. We got some extra wires, went all the way to the road, to the street, and then put the bomb there, and then tied a small fuse between two wires. Because if you turn the thing on, what will happen? If there's a short circuit, then the fuse should blow. That's the idea. Fuse should melt, whatever should happen. And so we did all this. And then we connected everything, and then we turned on the switch. When we turned on the switch, everything, all lights in everybody's houses, all fused, gone. Entire street became dark. I still remember that. I don't know. We must have run back and forth or whatever. What happened, I don't know now. But we should not be too ambitious here. And so anyway, that's called Vishamam, and in Tamil. So therefore, this Thairyam also very important because Vedanta also attending all these classes. It's I don't know where it's going. Sometimes we get that idea. Where it's going, we don't know. And when is the journey going to end? I don't know. All these things are there. Questions will come. So we have to keep at it. We have to keep at it. Our rishis have kept at it. And so we need this thairiya. Then, Atma Vinigraha. Okay. So these words are all related. Puja Swamiji would say, it is not like every value is independent of the other. Everything is connected to everything else. Correct? Ahimsa paramo dharma. Once you have ahimsa, everything else will automatically follow. You don't need to teach that person other values. So Swamiji will say it's like spaghetti. Spaghetti means it's all tied up like this, and you pull, it's all. Imagine all these things tied up. Then you pull any noodle you can pull, and then it will just come out like that. He used to say. And so Atma Vinigraha, self mastery. Self mastery means just being in control of oneself. That's it. Whether it's the body or it's the sense organs, habits, behaviors, thought processes, everything. So here Atma is what? Atma is not Sachidananda Atma. Atma is body, mind, sense complex. Deha Sanghata. Dehendriya Sanghata. Means this whole complex, which is in the control of the person. That that control is called Vinigraha. Correct? And we don't use the word control because control implies that there is a deliberate effort put constantly. Initially deliberate effort is there, yes, but afterwards, just like you're driving the car, you don't. Nobody feels that there is a deliberate effort being made, right? It's automatic. You just do it automatic. So like that, maturity is automatic. There's no effort. We don't have to make an effort to eat the right foods. Initially, you have to make an effort, but afterwards, it becomes our nature. We don't have to make an effort to speak with somebody, people. Oh, I should speak the truth. No, there's no deliberate effort to speak the truth. Why? Because it's now part of me. And so that is called Atma Vinigraha, self mastery in all aspects. All aspects means what? We can, what are all those aspects? If we say, we can go to Tattva Bodha. And Tattva Bodha talks about Sukshma Sariram Kim. The student is asking the teacher, Sukshma Sariram Kim. And he says, he lists many things, of which he lists what? 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action, correct? And then, okay, so 5 organs of action, then what? Pancha Pranaha, physiological systems, right? And then 2 more he lists, mind and buddhi. Manaschaika, manaha cha buddhischa eka. Like that he says. Evam saptadasha kalabihi saha yastishtati tat sukshma shariram. Like that he says, right? So that gives us a clue. Okay, these are all the things I have to focus on. Sense organs, sense pursuits. Okay. And then organs of actions means there are these these are the 2 ways in which we interact with the whole world. Sense organs gather data, input. All input is coming through senses. And then output. Output is all through these organs of action, hands, legs, etc. Okay. And so input, output, constantly. Therefore, that itself, and then of course, mind and buddhi and the body, the physiological health of the body. Everything has to be in order, proper order. To say that no, the health, the physical health of the body, I am unaffected by the physical health of the body. To come to that point, Atma is unaffected by the physical health of the body. To come to that point, I have to take care of my body. Okay. And when things don't work out the way I want it to be, arthritis happens whether I like it or not. Everything starts happening after some time. And whatever you do, it keeps coming. And you wonder what happens. Well, at least at that point, by that time, I've gained some vairagyam and I have Atma Vinigraha, and I can say Prasada Buddhi is there, and I can say, okay, I'll do my best and leave the rest to God. Okay, like that I can say. And so therefore, even Upanishads talk about this. And in Kathopanishad, we saw Atmanam Rathinam Viddhi Shariram Rathamevatu Buddhim Tu Sharatim Viddhi, etc. We saw. So Atmanam, there is this Panchakosha Viveka being described. Hey, consider this body to be the chariot, and then these sense organs are the horses, and then the reins with which the horses are held are the mind, and then the intellect is that. The buddhi, the intellect, is the charioteer who is holding this. And then Atma is the Swami, Ratha Swami, the one for whom all these things are meant for. Like that, that imagery was given in the Upanishad. And then, having said that, the Upanishad also says, then it goes on, Vijnana Saratir Yastu, Vijnana Saratir Yastu Manah Pragrahavan Naraha. So Dvanah Paramapnoti. So that buddhi, that intellect, that sarati has to be vijnanavan, has to be somewhat intelligent, can't be foolish. Okay. And so some minimum viveka is needed. Okay. And then of course for Brahma Vidya, Atmanatma Viveka is needed. And so then that person can hold on to the reins of the horse properly, means the mind is then available for that person to pursue whatever needs to be pursued. And that person alone, Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. So Dvanaf Paramapnoti, like that, that person crosses over samsara, like that Yama had told Nachiketa. So every Upanishad will talk about it. Bhagavad Gita, constantly he will say, Indriyasyendrasyarthe ragadvesho vyavastitau tayorna vashamagache. Krishna is saying, don't come under the spell of these senses. All these likes and dislikes are fine, nothing wrong with it. Nobody is immune from having likes and dislikes. But you have the right to decide whether you how far and whether and how far you want to pursue a life. That's the mastery, right? And so manage myself first. First, learn to manage myself. Only then you can talk about family and this children and friends and this and that and company and whatnot, school and teaching. So many things are there. People are busy doing so many things. How am I going to manage all those transactions? How am I going to manage all those relationships if I can't manage myself? Simple management. And so that's the idea here. And so therefore, the prayer, Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha, Bhadram Pashye Makshabhirya Jatra. Okay, so we have beautiful mantra it is. Look at this. Bhadram Karnebhihi Shrunuyama. May we listen to good things through our ears. Bhadram. Bhadram is a very beautiful word. Good things means what? Who decides what is good? What is good for you need not be good for me, right? And so Bhadram means what is fundamentally good for the human being. I want Ananda, I want Ananda. Okay, Ananda. The things that actually can get you Ananda, that is what is Bhadram. Take me towards that Bhadram. Okay. Third, give me that capacity. Arteshu ragadvesho vyavastito tayorna vashamagachet. May I get that into my head that I can become a victim of my own likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes are given. They are all Icha Shakti. It is Devi manifest in me as in the form of Raga and Dvesha. Therefore, there's nothing wrong with Raga and Dvesha. But it is Raga Dvesha is what drives the whole world berserk. And therefore, Bhadram, Shrunuyama, let me hear the right things. These kinds of things let me hear. And then Bhadram Pashyema, may I use my eyes. for the right things, etc. And then, who is it addressed to? Badram karne vishrunuyama devaha. Oh devaha, hey devaha. It's a prayer to all the gods, all the devatas. And what can be those devatas? Well, again, we can go back to Tattvabodha. Tattvabodha, what did he say? For all these sense organs, there are devatas or not? Okay. Shrotrasya dig devata. Then what? Tvacho vayuhu. Chakshusha suryaha. Rasanayaha. Rasanayaha. Devata kaha.
Varuna.
Varuna.
Varuna. Rasanayaha varunaha. Granasya ashvinau. These are the devatas. So I can now focus my prayer, right? Devata, so many things, so many devatas are there. Who do I address? Okay, may I listen to the right things? May I put myself, may you put me in the right situation so I can listen to them. Okay, so Dig Devata, the Devata of directions. Devata, suppose my eating habits are not good. Varuna Devata, look at that. Varuna is water, the rain god, they say. Rain god also, but tongue god also. Correct? According to Tattvabodhakara. Therefore, same Varuna Devata. Okay, you are the one who have to help me control my tongue, whether it is eating or speaking. Speaking also tongue only. So, these kinds of things, Devaha. So, learn to manage myself first. Then the rest will follow. Then Vedanta and all is big cakewalk. Easy, very easy. And so the entire Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga is meant for Atma Vinigraha. Entire Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, everything is meant for us. What beautifully developed, which country in the world can offer Ashtanga Yoga? Tell me. And that is the amount to which they have written and studied and developed sutra after sutra after sutra. My God, it goes finer and finer and finer. And so we have all the tools with us. And asana, physical body, to maintain physical body, all asanas are there. Whatever asana is needed for you, do. You don't have to do all asanas. No, you don't have. Many asanas are. No, I can't sit. Yeah, I can't do this. I can't do that. Can't bend. Okay, can you stand? Yeah, I can stand. Okay, then do Tadasana. Tadasana is there. It's called standing asana. Just be stiff. Just stiffen your hands and legs. And our Veera, Narayana, and others can teach you all that. Tadasana, over. If you can stand, you can do asana. Just stand and do your asana. Then guess what? Then you can learn to sit. And guess what? Some of those pains that are there will actually go away even by standing properly. Okay. And so asana is there. Pranayama. My goodness. Pancha prana. Pranamaya kosha. Entire pranamaya kosha addressed by pranayama. That's it. These two are enough. These two are enough to just make our lives much simpler, make our health, improve our health dramatically. And pratyahara, sense organs. Hey, withdraw your sense organs from all these things. Don't get carried away. Okay, pratyahara is there. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi, concentration. Mind is important. Once you take care of these external things, come back to the mind. Mind requires concentration. That is why samadhi. And so samadhi is what? Focus and concentrate. Dharana is focus. Samadhi is ability to stay with the same subject. Because Vedanta will require us to stay with the subject. That is how the subject is. It can become, for it to become very interesting, you have to stay with the subject initially. And later also, we want to stay with it. Finally, you are free. You are what you're seeking. And that akhandakara vritti will happen. And so, samadhi. Samadhi is a means, therefore it is not an end. If you think it's an end, then people want to sit under a tree and keep doing samadhi, going into samadhi. Hey, You can go into samadhi, nothing wrong. Yeah, it will give you, obviously, because if there are no thoughts in the mind, it's a desirable experience, exactly like deep sleep. Deep sleep also is the same samadhi only. Except now I'm not sleeping. While awake, also I can be in samadhi. Good. It's a good practice. Nothing wrong with that. But if you go and tell this to our Dayanandaji, he won't be impressed. That's what I'm telling you. He will say, "Who asked you to sit and retreat for 2 weeks? 2 hours? Is that what you learned in this ashram?" That is what he will say. And so, hey, you do some meditation every day. That's good for you. I'm so happy you're doing it. But what happened to all the courses and all the things I've been teaching? Have you been listening and understanding all this? That's what he will say. And so, Ashtanga Yoga is a means, not an end. And then all tools are available for us. And so once for me to go from prayers to Shreyas, all these things are important. All these values are important. And therefore, Atma Vinigraha is important. From outward to inward, they said go inward. Turn inwards, they say. Avrita Chakshuhu we saw recently in Kathopanishad. Avrita Chakshuhu. That's what this is. Atma Vinigraha. And they say, I heard a phrase once. When they go to bed, they will say, I am turning in. Correct? Is that correct? Turning in? Turning in, correct. Hara is saying. Turning in. This turning, I found it to be very interesting. Turning in means what? What does it mean really? What is it? What has turning in got to do with going to bed? Nothing really. But really it has a lot to do. You know what? Turning in means just leave me alone, okay? Leave me alone. I want to be by myself. It's time over. All these everything we'll see tomorrow. I want to be by myself. This Atma wants to be by itself. I want to be. I want to just go to my bed and I want to just close my eyes. I'll get lost. Okay. I want you to allow me to get lost. Okay. Turning in, turning inwards. It's a different kind of turning inwards, but still it's turning in. I think that's how I justify that. Hara. That's why I justify this turning in to be coming back to oneself after a whole day of activity, coming back to oneself. Meditation also is turning in, really speaking, because now is the time. It's an appointment with myself. But this is different, turning in. They say sleep, going to bed is called turning in. So anyway, Atma Vinigraha. And periodically, Krishna will use this word. He won't say Atma Vinigraha. He will say Yuktaha. Yoga Yukto Munir Brahma. Nachirenadi Gachati. That Yoga Yuktaha, that word Yuktaha, Yujidatu, means am I integrated or not? This personality, is it all broken going in different directions or is it one whole? That is called Yukta Purusha, Yoga Yukta. So periodically the word Yukta means that person has this Atma Vinigraha. Okay, so let's translate this sloka here. Absence of conceit or within brackets humility, comma, absence of pretension within brackets simplicity, comma, not hurting, comma, accommodation, comma, straightforwardness, or uprightness, comma, service to the teacher, comma, cleanliness, within brackets, purity, comma, steadfastness, comma, mastery over the mind, sometimes called as self-control or self-discipline, comma, and then we'll continue in the next sloka. So let's see this. Absence of conceit, humility, that is, absence of pretension, that is, simplicity, not hurting, accommodation, straightforwardness or uprightness, service to the teacher, cleanliness or purity, steadfastness, mastery over the mind or self discipline. So let's chant the next sloka also. Let's see if we can take it forward. Rukmini ji, if you can unmute yourself. Indriyartheshu vairagyam.
इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम्
Anahankara evacha.
अनहङ्कार एव च
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam.
जन्म मृत्युजरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम्.
Yes. So as I said before, the second half of the shloka is one word in Sanskrit, and therefore we try to say it in one breath or one shot. But if you can't, you're welcome to break it. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dash hyphen dukkha dosha darshan. That's also okay. Okay. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Next value. Okay, I'm not keeping the count of it, but that's the next value. Total number of values will be 20. Okay. And so, indriyartheshu vairagyam. Vairagyam. Viragasya bhavaha. Vairagyam. Viragaha. Vigataha ragaha yasma. Ragaha. So the main word here is ragaha. Raga means literal meaning is like. That is the vachyartha. Lakshyartha, the implied meaning is going to be what? Raga and dvesha. Correct? Vachyartha, lakshyartha. We saw that some time ago. And what is it? Literal meaning and implied meaning. Okay. Then the one for whom raga and dvesha are gone is called a viragi. But then raga and dvesha can never be gone from anybody because they are Shakti, they are my dear friend, that is Icha Shakti. You can't ask Shakti to just go away from here. I don't want you. You can't say that. And Shakti is part of our constitution, our mind, our creation. And therefore, Shakti is not going to be separate from Shiva. And therefore, then what is the meaning of this? It means the one who can wear raga and dvesha like ornament and can remove it also at will. It means one who is not a victim of raga. That is the meaning. Correct? That's called viragaha. And that person is called a viragi. And that bhava, viragasya bhava. Somebody is unmuted. If you can mute yourself, that'll be great. Okay. And so that viragasya bhava, that attitude of that person, if you were to look into this viragi and see what kind of mind he has, that attitude is called vairagyam. Yeah. That is the way to understand this word vairagyam. And of course, raga is always towards indriyarthas, about the objects of this world, about the things that the sense organs perceive, about the things that the mind perceives. Because I can perceive things that the sense organs don't show me. I can close my eyes and I can think of my past. Oh, past friends, past school days were great. Oh, this friend, that friend, this friend. I can take off. I can take off, and then now I'm thinking about somebody else. And now one day I thought, now second day also I'm thinking, third day also I'm thinking. Then I decided I have to find and track this person. Fine. Now mind is going on a different track. What is the track? Tracking that person becomes my track. Okay. And so these things can happen. And so indriyartheshu, with respect to all those things that I possess, I don't possess, all the things that are out there. Okay. And with the phone, my goodness. And all you have to do is go to, they have something called new, NEU. Tata has come up with an app. It's called, I think it's called NEU, I think. NEU. So that's it. You just, and then you have a few some money left. And so you feel like buying something. And then Deepavali is coming, Christmas is coming, they attract you with all these things. And you wanted to buy a gift, and then you're not buying a gift yet. You're only looking. After 5 days of looking, you've still not decided. Indriya, Teshu, Vairagyam. You have to call it up and say, okay, enough. Just do something fast. Okay. And so these, because why does he say that? Senses can take us for a ride. Take us for a ride. That's why earlier itself, Krishna had said, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kama Krodho Vijayate. Second chapter itself, we introduced this long ago and saying that I'm going to come, I'm going to review it later. Arjuna, I know you'll forget, but I'll review it. And so, uh, Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsaha means what? This person gets exposed to something, and then initially it's, oh, okay, interesting, nice. And then after a few days later, it comes on the TV. And then, yeah, this is what we saw in the mall that day. Look. Yeah. Then what happened? Then few weeks later, somebody, Dad, I think we should buy that. It's called, what is it called? That little small thing. Siri. If you, hey Siri, tell me what's the weather like today? Is it going to rain in Coimbatore? And then I think it will say, no, weather is great today or something. It will say, so then it becomes a need now. Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Pajayate. The more I think about it, it then slowly Sangha gets created. Now the object is coming and closer to me. Sangat Sanjayate Kama. After Sangha, Kama gets generated. We saw all these things last time. And so that's why Krishna is saying Indriyartheshu Vairagyam. And we'll continue this discussion. And Krishna doesn't want to leave any stone unturned. So, why are you talking about values when you have to talk about Atma? There's no connection. Value is anatma. But what to do? Values are needed for me to gain that capacity to grasp the teachings of the Shastra. So that's why we are talking about, or Krishna is talking about values. We'll come back to it. Om Purnamadah Namidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om